Hi, I'm here with this week's happiness strategy. I'll be reading aloud our weekly featured article. Every week I feature an article on empowered living on my website, and I also share my writing out on Thrive Global. I share both the article, a video, as well as some other tips and strategies out every Thursday morning to my list called M's Weekly Inspiration. And if you're not already signed up to receive those free notes, you can do so by following the link that I'll share below. I'll also share the direct link to the article in case you want to have a read through later. So this week our article is called Making Friends with Our Shadow Selves. It's one that I wrote a couple of years ago, but it still fits. Do you ever wish there were parts of you that you could change or hide from the world? Do you sometimes hold back sharing who you are in all of your light and darkness? Do you fear being misunderstood or not being accepted by others? Who we are is so much more than the way we show up in the world. Sure, our behavior informs others about our personality and tendencies, but if we define who we are by other people's reactions to how we show up, we risk accepting and loving all parts of ourselves. Society has a way of shaping us to believe we must be shiny, perfect, and new to be attractive and lovable. When we strive to meet these external expectations, we hurt the relationship we have with ourselves. When we love all parts of ourselves, we experience a sense of freedom and peace. We begin to understand being human can be messy, and our messiness is part of the wonderful adventure. It is all okay. We are okay because we have light within us and we also have darkness. It is part of being human. When we make friends with our shadow selves, we send the message to ourselves and the world it is okay to show up exactly as we are. I define my shadow self as a part of me who experiences emotions like anger, sadness, jealousy, anxiety, shame, irritability, etc. Basically, all of the human emotions and experiences that are seen as taboo by society. If we spent our lives hiding from these darker human emotions, we would be forever turning our back on ourselves by wishing we were different than we are, an exhausting undertaking. Instead, we can befriend and thank these darker emotions for informing us. These darker emotions hold important information we can use to guide our next steps. Sometimes it might mean that we need to perform more self-care, tighten our boundaries with others who overstep, stop saying yes when we really mean no, reach out to a loved one for a heart-to-heart, connect deeper with ourselves, or perhaps get a better night's sleep. Our darkness provides us with valuable insight. When we embrace this insight, we stop suffering by believing we should be different than we are. Loving ourselves and the lives we are in gives us the freedom and space to enjoy the journey. How might you embrace and befriend your shadow self today? So that's our article for this week. And again, I will share the direct link below this video in case you want to have a read through later. But I just invite everybody this week to just experiment with noticing yourself more, just increasing that self-awareness and that self-acceptance, and not always accepting ourselves for our, happiness, joy, or the highlight kind of emotions that we go through on a daily basis. Sure, yes, celebrate those. And also nurture ourselves and accept ourselves for all of the emotions and places that we find ourselves in. So instead of beating ourselves up for feeling a certain way that's perhaps seen as negative or taboo by society, instead to just sit in that emotion and allow it to move through, allow yourself to be in that place, and know that who you are is so much more than any emotion that you're feeling. And to just recognize that these different experiences that we have in life are merely experiences, to not attach our self-worth or who we are to any sort of experience that we're having, whether that's, good, bad, or anything in between. And the more that we practice accepting ourselves, regardless of whatever experience we're in, the more peace and ease that we have with ourselves, and the more aligned we begin to be. And it doesn't mean that darker emotions won't happen. Of course they will. And really great things will happen in our life too, but not to always be striving to achieve a state of joy or happiness all the time, because that's an unrealistic expectation. And to just be okay with whatever emotions that we're in, and to just, the practice is really just to get used to just being okay with whatever sort of situation that we're in, to allow it to pass through without taking hold of who we are. I find when I do that, whatever I'm going through seems to pass a little bit quicker, and it doesn't spiral and create that momentum. So it really does, when I talk about in the article, informing your next steps, just increasing our self-awareness and our self-acceptance on a bigger scale, to include every sort of emotion that we're going through in our life. It really does help us to nurture ourselves and to get clear and to be really connected to ourselves, so we know what it is that we are needing in that moment. Sometimes what we need is to just really soften our heart and perhaps have a good cry, or to reach out to a friend, or to just take 5 minutes to ourselves, or maybe it does mean to tap into some humor or to brighten our spirits. But when we get really used to practicing that self-awareness, then we are quick to know what it is that we need next in order to keep on moving on our path of least resistance, and our path where we aren't, because life is bumpy enough, but where we aren't battling with ourselves at the same time as that. So just really accepting who we are as we are. So I hope that this is helpful this week. And again, you can go back through and read through the article if that's helpful to you. And as always, I look forward to connecting again soon. Thank you.